Obviously, there are some terms and rules in the interior design industry. In this video, I'm going to be talking about those basics that every single interior designer must know. I am going to cover the design brief, design sketch, the design solution or design concept, developing spaces or space planning, and in the end, I'm going to tell you 2 rules for functional design: ergonomics and anthropometry. The first step into design process is having a brief. But what is a brief? A design brief is what outlines the project goals and objectives. It is a piece of document for a design project developed by a person or team in consultation with client. It outlines the deliverables and scope of the project, including any products or works, timing, and budget. It is essential to the success of a project that the brief clarifies we have understood clientele and their project requirements correctly before we get started on the creative and design component of the project. Design sketch. Basically, designers draw to communicate or express an idea or a desired outcome. Design sketch is an informal visualization that, with some techniques, allows us to convert a plan in mind into a tangible form that is accessible to others. A sketch may serve a number of purposes. Like, it might record something that the artist sees, it might record or develop an idea for later use, or it might be used as a quick way of graphically demonstrating an image, idea, or principle. Drawing as a medium for expression is vital in the representations of thoughts, composition, form, materiality, and sensation in the discipline of design. Concept. The concept is the idea behind a design. It is how you plan on solving the problem in front of you. In order to make an interior space work properly, there's always a number of solutions to go with. That underlying logic, thinking, and reasoning for how you design a space is the design concept. Our job as interior designers, as a result, includes using our skills to identify those options so that the interior flows for the function that it was intended for. Our skill in planning and design concepts, as well as understanding of the design rules, will help to first identify the problem and then to find a solution or some alternatives. Then your concept will lead to your choices in the layout, color, shape, and other elements, but I'm going to talk about them in the next video. With the help of elements and principles of interior design, we will be able to offer the best design solution that is both beautiful and functional. But before starting with the concept, we need to perform some research. Meaning, we need to gather information from the main users of a space. The bigger the size of a project, the more research, time, and effort goes into it. As an example, imagine we're supposed to design a big shopping center. We certainly need some information, firstly about the location of the site that defines the available products in the area, the weather, culture, even religion of people living near that particular site plays a huge role. Whereas if you are designing a residential place for a family of 5, you most likely are already familiar with culture, the city, the weather, so you only need to gain some information about the project and what work is involved. About what they do, the habits they have, the color they like, their favorite style, timing, budget, and then solve the design problem in front of you, which is much more simpler in comparison to an office building where there are going to be more than 100 employees working in a space, right? After coming up with the concept, we need to start planning out the space. Space planning is a system to work out relationships between users of a space and their actual needs. It mostly involves dealing with the physical dimensions of a space.
including the actual measurement of available floor space, ceiling height, and the scale. Floor area, which is the horizontal space, is expressed as a floor plan. We create floor plan in form of a drawing that shows the layout of functional elements within a space. Space is also the vertical dimension of the ceiling or wall height, which is called an elevation. It is important for us to have a very good understanding of scale and the human element and be able to apply them during the planning process. This involves limitations of the human body, general size of it, and how it interacts with furniture and fixtures in a space. This especially comes into practice when designing furniture and cabinetry, as we need to be able to determine minimum comfortable spaces for particular functions such as preparation area in a kitchen.
It might seem simple, but believe me, it's not, especially when you realize that you only have a certain square meter space to work with. It takes a good designer to come up with an idea or different options that are practical. Our main concern as interior designers is to fit the user into an interior space which is comfortable, and moving through it wouldn't make any problem for the user.
In order for an interior space to be functional, there are two main rules to take into consideration when designing. Any designer must know how to use these without exception. Anthropometry is the study of measurement of the form and proportion of a human's body, especially as it relates to the design of furniture and machinery. Ergonomics, on the other hand, is the study of people's efficiency in their working environment. When we call an item ergonomic, it means that something was designed in a way which maximizes the productivity and minimizes the discomfort in an interior environment. It works out the relationship between users of a space with the environment and equipment they use.
But how ergonomics is applied into our everyday interiors?
We can mainly see ergonomics in furniture and cabinetry throughout the house. However, the placement of a door handle, light switch, the type of faucet, or the design of a kitchen or other work or rest area all follow anthropometric and ergonomic principles.
This way, we allow our bodies to move into an interior space in a way that is comfortable and perform tasks in a natural posture. Following these rules when designing an interior space, we can easily increase comfort and decrease the fatigueness and the likelihood of injuries.
To simplify it, sight and reach are the most important considerations here. To perform all tasks, we need to be able to see clearly. This doesn't just mean good lighting, but also the ability to focus on the task at hand without having to bend, cast your eyes, or have your line of sight obscured unnaturally. Likewise, the task should be within a relaxed arm's reach without unnecessarily stretched or crouching off balance. The same is applied if sitting or for any work surface that we may be at to be at a comfortable height and distance from the body. We need to be aware of particular range of heights and widths when space planning, analyzing, or specifying furniture and fittings. The goal is to make an environment where we'll be able to perform our tasks without stretching, bending, or going off balance.
As I mentioned in my last video, the main purpose of an interior designer is to make an environment which is both beautiful and practical. Principles and elements of design are the tools to help us achieve this goal. Once they are learned, these rules can be either followed or broken considerably. On my next video, I'm going to be talking about the principles of interior design, which are the fundamentals in design. That was for today's session, guys. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and while you're down there, hit the subscription button. Thank you very much for watching me. See you next week. Bye. Oh my god, this is a disappointment. Holy shit. I. It seems simple, but believe me, it is not. You realize that there is Here again. Oh my god. Always, all the time. You know what?